For today's project, I got some leftover corrugated piping I'm going to use. First, I'm going to start with pieces to a hula hoop. You can buy them whole, but this one came in segmented pieces. So I'm just going to start putting 2-3 pieces together. Once I start putting together, I'm going to feed it through the corrugated piping. That way it feeds through there and it's going to give this a perfect circle. It's like a template almost. Once you get to the end, put them together and these sides fit together just fine. Now, using the hula hoop inside, use that to go ahead and get your perfect circle. Once you do that, you're going to take a drill bit, drill through one side, flip it over, and then you're going to drill 180 degrees on the other side. What we want to do is put a zip tie through it. That's going to hold it together to make sure it doesn't come loose. Pull that tight, make sure you cut off the excess. Once we get that done, we need one more zip tie. We're going to make a loop and we're going to hang it from that zip tie. And then here's our garland. We're going to take that and start wrapping it around. First segment, we're going to zip tie, and then we're going to keep it all wrapped up because it's going to be a mess if you're trying to wrap it with it all loose. So you're just going to keep going, wrap it, and keep it tight around the plastic corrugated piping. You don't want any of that black showing through. Something you can do, though, is paint it green just in case before you start the project. Once you get to the end, you're going to cut off any excess or just keep wrapping and tuck it in. Next, I got some battery-powered fairy lights. I'm going to use those to wrap around. 2 little holes next to each other will be great because I can stick a zip tie through it and on the back side zip tie and secure the battery pack, again cutting off the excess. Now I've only got 16 feet of this fairy light, so I'm going to take it and start wrapping it around loosely, not as tight as I did the last one, and I had just enough to go all the way around. And then I got some poinsettias with a clip on the end. I got these from Walmart. I'm going to start separating these and making it all nice and take it and I'm going to put some little bit of a curve to it up towards the berries there. Once I get that all done, it's got that clip on the back and I'm going to secure it to our new wreath here. Remember the rules of odds, so I'm going to put 3 of these on here. Last but not least, after I get all these put on, it's time to decorate just a little bit more. I grabbed some of these mini ornaments, a couple of different colors, and I'm going to install those. All it takes is some hot glue. I'm actually going to put quite a bit of hot glue on, and I'm going to stick the ornament right inside there. I'm going to hold it down for 5 to 10 seconds. Go all the way around the wreath decorating. I'm also going to do a little bit of clustering where I put different textures and different ornaments together. And look at this. Hang it up and it absolutely looks amazing. I love how it turned out. And then once I turn the lights on, look at that. The glow is amazing. And since the lights do wrap around the back, the shadows and the silhouettes just add to the effect. I hope you enjoyed this project as much as I did making it and inspired you to make your own corrugated pipe wreathing. Thank you for watching Hometalk, and we will catch you next time.
You want to grab a big piece of cardboard and we're going to draw 2 circles. This is the easiest way to draw a circle. Tie a piece of string to a Sharpie, find the middle of the cardboard and hold the string there. And then take the Sharpie and just spin it around in a circle and make sure you keep that center point held tight with your finger. Then I'm going to make the string a little bit shorter and draw a second circle on the inside. Now I'm just going to use a knife to cut these out. I do want the round shape, but I'm not too worried about the edges being perfect here because they're going to be covered up with lots of balloons. Now I need to blow up a bunch of balloons. I have about 40 green balloons and about 8 red balloons. These are regular size balloons, but I'm only going to blow them up about halfway, so they resemble more circles than ovals. You can blow these up the old-fashioned way, or you can grab a balloon pump like this for a couple of dollars from the party section. Makes the job a lot easier. So you want to grab a craft knife, and I am just cutting little X's right into the cardboard. I want to make sure they go all the way through, but I just need an X. And I'm making an alternating pattern here. 1 X on the outside, 1 on the inside, and I'm going to go all the way around the wreath. To put the balloons in, I'm going to take the end of the balloon and push it through that X. I'm using just a popsicle stick. You could use a chopstick or any kind of blunt tool that you have to push it through. Once I get the edge through, I can pull until the knot pops through, and that's going to hold the balloon in place. Now I'm just going to repeat this until I have the whole wreath full. Now that I have all the green up on the wreath, I hung this up on the wall just on a command hook so I can see where the gaps are. But now I want to add some red in there, and I am using some strong adhesive glue dots to do this. You could also use double-sided tape. Just stay away from hot glue or anything that takes too long to dry. This wreath needs a bow. So with a big piece of red poster board, I'm just going to draw kind of an oblong shape. It's going to have a squared off edge on one side and a pointed edge on the other. Then I'm going to fold the poster board in half and cut out 2 of these shapes. I'm gluing the middle 2 blunt edges together using hot glue. Then I'm taking the pointed edges and I'm folding them over to the middle to create the bow. I'm just using a rectangle of leftover poster board to wrap around the middle to finish it off. And finally, I'm cutting 2 smaller pieces of poster board to act as the tails of ribbon. This bow can be attached to the wreath with those glue dots. Just put a bunch of them on and you can attach it directly to the balloons. This is such a fun and festive decoration. It would look really great on a mantle or anywhere that you want to add some color and some whimsy to your Christmas decor. I hope this inspired you to create your own Christmas balloon wreath.
I picked out a pool float and inflated it outside using an air compressor, which you guys makes it so easy to do. So after making sure that it's fully inflated, we're going to secure a wire to it. And we're going to use a thinly gauged piece of wire. This is a very soft wire, so it's not going to pierce the balloon. And then we're going to take the wire and tie it around the pool float, just like that. So now we just have some greenery, and you can find this greenery, the rose gold bay leaves, and the wire from nicksseasonaldecor.com. We're going to just simply lay that greenery on top of the wire. And what I'm actually doing is I'm taking the stems, and typically, if this was a wreath, we would remove them. But for this, I'm actually going to just bend them up, and that way it's going to provide a little bit more reinforcement for the wire to adhere to. Now that we have these in place, we can take that wire and bring it from either side and tie it right on. Now it's time to make a bow, so we just have this 1.5 inch champagne ribbon, and it matches the ivory on the pool float perfectly. And all we're gonna do is make a bunch of loops. So we're creating loops about 4 inches across, but keep in mind there are so many types of pool floats out there. There are these ones that look like donuts that we have here. There are, Christmas trees. You can actually find Christmas and winter, like let's say snowflakes, in pool float form. And now we can snip off the ribbon. I always like to snip it off with a little bit of an overhang so that when we secure our wire, we're not going to pose the risk of accidentally pulling one of these loops out. Now what we're going to do is just simply put that right between the wires that we initially placed. And now what we can do is we can fluff these loops open. To hang this, I just cut a length of ribbon, and all we're going to do is just tie it right to the top of the pool float. And tie it nice and tight so that it doesn't swivel around. And now you can tie this to a command strip, you can tie this to a wreath hook, you can tie this anywhere. And here is how it turned out, you guys, and I absolutely love it. So what an easy idea, turning a pool float into a beautiful Christmas wreath or winter wreath, since we used rose gold, champagne, and a little bit of greenery. And once you're done, snip off that wire, and then you have a pool float to use during the summer. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm Nick Kretikos of Nick's Seasonal Decor, and you're watching me on Hometalk. See you in the next episode.